question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, how did those events impact your mental health?
It impacted my mental health in a way where I second guessed myself. I felt less than. I felt like I was the problem. I had issues. I even thought like, do I have a mental disorder or is there something wrong with me? It really affected just the way I thought about myself, the way I felt about me and others, and I didn't trust people. I honestly I didn't know what to think. I was confused, I was lost, shocked, everything. It messed me up pretty good. So
Mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
messed me up mentally.
So, because those hurdles are, of course, not the most easiest things to overcome, what did you have to implement or develop in order to, develop and maintain your mental health?
Well, that's another good question. For one, I definitely educated myself on narcissistic abuse and what it means to be a narcissist. Also, I did some counseling for about a year. The only mistake I felt like I made was I should have talked to someone that was very knowledgeable about narcissistic abuse because she was just like a regular like counselor, almost like a guidance counselor, not really knowing what it was that I really went through, you know? So that was the only thing, but thank goodness I knew, and I found other people that have been through the same thing that I gone through. So that was very helpful. It kind of made me feel like, okay, I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? The other thing is, just feeling my feelings, just realizing like, hey, this hurts. I feel devastated. I feel heartbroken, and I have to feel these feelings. It may be uncomfortable, but I have to go through this, and that's the only way that I'm going to heal. You know what I mean? And then doing yoga was really good. I did that. Well, I've been doing yoga since like 2008. But as soon as I broke free from the guy that I was dating that was a narc, and later on my aunt that was a narcissist, I definitely indulged in doing yoga and meditation. And last but not least, just spending time alone, just really being with myself, taking care of myself, and even like just hugging myself and just acknowledging like, yes, I'm hurt, I feel betrayed and sad, but just being there with my, almost like being there with my inner child, you know what I mean? Just holding
Mm-hmm,
myself.
mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And all of those go under the bracket of self-love and
Yes.
self-compassion, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And those are skills that we do not get taught
Yep.
anywhere. And so taking the time into checking in what it may be that could give you comfort that you can give to yourself is like, it's almost like a superpower.
Yeah.
Like, and it may be tough to bring it out of yourself sometimes, but knowing with enough practice and self-awareness, I believe that we can nurture the self-love no matter how little. There's always room to grow it,
Hmm.
and I don't think that anybody can take that away from us.
Absolutely.
No matter how much people will weigh us down, put us down, and kick us about, I think having those skills behind you, you can always have your back to fall back on.
So true. So true.
Yeah. So I absolutely love that everything that you've done for yourself is
Thank
all
you.
towards yourself and the best version of yourself, and that's really wonderful to hear. I'm glad.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad. So, how does your support system look like now?
Well, in terms of that, I know that living in LA, I had a lot of friends that I had gained throughout the time that I was there. I was there for a total of 11 years, but I moved away. I kept in contact with a couple of friends, One friend in particular, I was friends with her for like 10 years and we still are in contact. So she's a really good support system. My mom and my dad, they're very supportive, but they don't really dive deep with me when it comes to emotions and feelings. Like they'll hear me out, they'll give me their advice, and it is what it is. But what's crazy is like I've learned to be my own support system. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like it's almost as if I don't really need like other people to support me. It's like I have that like within I mean, first and foremost, I do have God, of course. But and other than like the handful of friends, I really find that I support like my support system, it comes from within, if that makes sense. So
Hmm. I love that so much. I
thank
love
you.
that so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
you should definitely trust within your own capabilities to look after yourself, because there's that saying that if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
That's
And
true. So true.
as cliche and very RuPaul of that is, it is so true. It is so
Definitely.
true.
Yeah.
And that's actually the very first time I've been speaking to some people, and like I love hearing that you have enough strength and trust within yourself to be like, I am my own support system.
It's crazy because it wasn't like that always, honestly. It
Mm,
was not always like
I,
that. And I think I grew to be like that after having that experience with dealing with narcissists and then just really spending time by myself and realizing like, well, I really don't really need anybody like that. I mean, we need people for little things and stuff like that, but I mean, I could really find that support inside of myself and my support within God, but like it comes from within me. I mean, I could ask people for advice and get their opinions, but at the end of the day, it's about what am I going to do? What is my decision going to be at the end of the day? And another thing that I always learned was like you come into this world alone and you're going to die alone. So it's like you gotta really just learn how to be like self reliant and like have your support system kind of come from within and like your higher power, however whoever you pray to. So that's how I feel.
no, I
So
like I like your uptake on that. I do. So, how does it now feel speaking about your challenges?
another good question. Sometimes it still hurts a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like they say PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, or post narcissist stress disorder is like you'll have flashbacks of like what happened and you'll ruminate a little bit on like the things that they did to you. Sometimes it hurts, and then other times I could laugh about it because I'm just like, wow, I really thought that that person loved me. But then, like when I'm alone, I'm just like, I still can't believe that they did that to me. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like a love or hate kind of thing. Like I now, like sometimes I could speak about it freely and laugh, and then other times it still makes me sad. So
Yeah, and I think that's a
definitely.
process, isn't it? That's a process, because those flashbacks sometimes, especially by yourself, it could either like free room in your heart by saying that I'm past that. I'm way, way far away from that, and you're not presented with that pain anymore.
Right.
And so there's, for me, the sense of forgiveness of um, those that abused me is quite liberating, because as much as the emotion and how heavy it is could be difficult,
Hmm.
it's almost like being able to look past it with an open mind and an open heart. You create that extra bit of solid foundation within your own growth. Well,
Yes.
that's how I perceive it when I get presented with a flashback anyway.
Absolutely. Yep. And I
Definitely.
definitely I recently made a post on my YouTube, and I was talking about should you forgive the narcissist and how do you forgive yourself? And I definitely said that I would advise people to forgive those that have hurt you or abused you, because it's like at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like that person is off living their life and you're still ruminating about what happened. It's like it doesn't do you any good. So yeah, definitely you have to forgive. So
That's true. That's true. So, because what you went through is so challenging, what would your advice be to those that may be listening who's also still trying to find their way within their journey?
yes, great question. I would say, trust your intuition whenever you get like a gut feeling like something is not right, listen to that. Seek support always, or assistance. Never be afraid to ask for help. Lean on your trusted, trusted is the key word, family and friends, people that you can open up to, or people that have gone through similar experiences. Lean on them for support. Begin to focus on yourself. Get back to your life again. Focus on your hobby, or think of a hobby, something to do to take the focus off of a narcissist or any abusive relationship. Educate yourself about self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, self-value. Learn about who you are and like your beliefs, and what do you value in your life. Also educate yourself on codependencies, childhood traumas, PTSD. Forgive yourself and your parents. The next thing is grieve, cry. You have to heal it. You're not gonna move on unless you feel your feelings. And I know, again, a lot of people don't like to feel sad or feel hurt, but if you want to get over this, you gotta feel those feelings, and it's tough, trust me. Um, I would also say don't date right away, because you want to be healthy enough and open emotionally so that the next person can really see the real you without being so traumatized by the previous relationship. That's the other thing. And just focus on yourself. Let the narcissist go. That's the last thing I would say. Or let the whoever abused you, whatever happened to you, just let it go. You have to. That's the only way you can be happy. So.
There's a very crucial, definitely, and sitting with your emotions is one of the hardest things to do ever,
It is.
ever, but it's such a necessary process.
And trust me, when I went through it, I was scared. Like, I don't know, like sometimes when you feel your feelings, like it's scary because you're like, oh my God, like I feel this way. But one of the things that I realize is like we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So if you are having a human experience, humans, they have emotions. So emotions doesn't really define like who you are. You're having that experience. And so what I like to say is emotions are like clouds. They just pass by. Just let it pass by. You're going to feel it, and it may hurt. It may feel like, oh my God, I'm about to die. But no, that's not the case. Like you have to go through it in order to go to the next level in your life. You gotta deal with it. You got to. And the unfortunate part is most people don't want to deal with those feelings and those emotions. And that's why they never heal. That's why they stay stuck in the past. They never forgive. So, yeah, you got to do the work. You got to.
Definitely. It's some heavy lifting,
It
but
is.
it eventually gets lighter and lighter as the more resilient and stronger that you plow through along the
Yes.
way. So it's not going to be difficult forever.
Right.
It's going to be difficult for a little while, but the more you put in, the more you're going to get out.
Absolutely. So
Thank you
true.
for that, Joy. It's
You're
very
welcome.
valuable.
Thank you.
So we're coming near the end
Mhm.
of our questions here, but before I ask my last question, where can people find you on social media?
Yes, great question. So there's three social medias I have is Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. All three platforms, you can find me at Live Narc Free. So it's LiveNarcFree. That's where you can find me. And also my website is livenarcfree.com as well. So
Brilliant. I'll make sure
yes.
to add the links within the description so people can
Awesome.
easily find you. So,
Sweet.
Joy, my last question for you is, if you met your younger self, what would you say to them?
I love this question. This is great. um, I would say your past does not define you. Also, I would say nobody is perfect. It's okay to make mistakes in life, and not everyone is like you, but embrace it. That's what I would say to my younger self.
Amazing. That's very
Yes.
powerful and very brief. And I'm
Yes.
sure little Joy would have appreciated that if she heard it.
Yes.
So,
Definitely.
thank you so much for coming along and being open and sharing and caring
Absolutely.
and very insightful indeed. So, before we publish any of our episodes, we produce transcripts in which we send over to you, and we'll only publish it when you give us the green light.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
that sounds good. Yeah.
okay.
Perfect. Hmm.
Amazing. So, yeah, I hope that we stay in touch.
Yes.
I mean,
Let's do it again.
if COVID wasn't a thing, I'm sure I would like to actually be speaking to everybody in person because
Right.
I feel like there's just something else about actually getting to speak to someone face to face, right? That's why I asked if we could have the video on because it's always nicer to see facial expressions.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I
Absolutely.
feel like I'll just be talking to like a piece of box, and I can't put a face to the voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
great. So you still have quite a bit of the day left for you, and mine's
Yes.
coming to near the end. So I
Yes,
hope you have
indeed.
a wonderful rest of the day
You
and a
too.
wonderful week.
You too. It was a pleasure. Stefans, right?
Uh,
Stefan?
it's Steven.
Steven. Okay, sorry about that.
No,
Steven,
that's
yeah.
okay. That is a new one. I usually hear
Okay,
like
awesome.
Stefan,
Steven.
like Stefan Estevan, but
Steven.
Stefan was a new one for me.
Well, I know people pronounce it differently, so I'm like, you know, but
I should
yes,
have
Steven, it's a
I
pleasure
should have
for
just
sure.
picked Stefan. That sounds a little bit more a better ring to it. Steven's very basic.
Steven, Steven. Yes, I love it. Love it. So,
All
but
right.
yeah, it was great, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Let's keep in touch, and yeah, it was
Definitely
great.
would love to know where you're at sometime.
All right. Absolutely.
All
All
right.
right. So
Speak
you have a
to you.
good one. All right. Bye. Have a good one.